Hey guys, I am Big and Scary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay from Team EchO Gaming, this time featuring in our bottom right hand side EchO's Clockwork, our blue Zerg. He is Grand Masters. And in our top left, we have not gonna try it, not gonna try, no, hey, number 263. We have 263, our red Terran, assuming based on the Korean font and the fact that he is versing Clockwork on the ladder, that he is also in Grandmaster. So we have a Zerg versus Terran matchup. And it's always a good time to be had there, especially when it's Grandmasters, especially whenever the play level is so high. It's so fun. So fun indeed. 263 is moving out with his first SCV to build that supply depot. Just going to be building his wall off. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this map, but that little ramp is incredibly small compared to this guy right here. Huge. It is tempting to try to do something aggressive, try to kind of do like a pseudo wall off or something that incorporates the CC, but don't do it. Just don't. Play standard. It's standard for a reason. It's because it works 9 times out of 10. And 263 is just going to be doing that, throwing down that first refinery first. Interesting choice there. Usually you see a barracks immediately thereafter. Thanks for not proving my point about going standard. But no, Clockwork's got my back. He's going to go for a hatch first. At 15, and then a pool immediately thereafter to get that nice, sexy timing with those queens. Clockwork's got my back. There goes the drone. He's almost got 300 minerals. I'm liking this. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's got so many things queued up on the mineral patches, but no, this guy is destined for a hatchery. Excellent. And there goes the barracks. So, yeah, both players are continuing along that nice, classic path, and so we're going to have an absolutely fantastic time. It's going to be great because we're going to go off to at least the mid game, probably the late game, just given the size of the map. Yeah, so SCV coming out from 263 is going to be coming down, seeing that hatchery did indeed go up, and there goes the spawning pool from Clockwork. Just like I said, excellent. He's got my back. He's got my back. That barrack's going to be finishing in just a couple of seconds from 263, and that gas has been mining for quite a long time. What is he going to do with that extra gas? Well, factory play is very much in vogue right now. You get out that first factory, get out a reactor on that factory. You can get Hellions or Hellbats or Widow Mines. And all three of those units are absolutely fantastic, especially whenever you add in the hypermobility of those Medivacs to support them, maybe some tanks to support the Widow Mines. It really is, the sky's the limit. There goes the factory, there goes the reactor. So 263 is going to be doing some sort of harassment play, probably with those Hellions early on, just to get some map control, and then maybe transitioning into mech later on. The early gas timing definitely lends itself to mechs, but we don't see a second gas geyser being tapped just yet. Usually we're going to see a command center being thrown up too. Only time will tell. Clockwork is totally playing blind, by the way. That wall off was not completed in time to deny a drone scout from Clockwork if it had happened at the regular timing, but Clockwork didn't even bother to send one out. He's going to be relying exclusively on overlords. 2 different overlords are going to be positioning themselves to the right and to the south of the main base of 263. So the fact that the gas was so early is really not indicative to Clockwork because he's unaware of that. Obviously, if you're versing Terran right now on the ladder, you're going to know that you're going to be coming up against Hellions, so this spine crawler that's being built down at the natural is a very logical and natural choice for static defenses. So Clockwork has incorporated that into his build, which is absolutely fantastic. But 263 is getting that starport up, as well as a tech lab, which is probably destined for the starport. What is he going to do with that? Is it going to be a Banshee 1-2 punch with the Hellions kind of softening up the front door and then a Banshee coming around immediately behind? I'm going to be honest, probably. It's probably just that, but there's other possibilities. Oh, we could get a Raven coming out for some reason. That would be cool too. But no, it's going to be a Banshee. Absolutely fantastic. I like that play. I like that play a lot, because it's not as boring as a Medivac dropping a bunch of Hellions in the mineral line and doing a lot of damage and then dying. No, it's a 1-2 punch because it's got nice follow through. It's got a very nice even distribution of mineral and gas being used, and it opens up so many more pathways for you to follow down. You already have a tech lab, so you can switch up to tanks. You've already got a reactor, so you can switch up to a ground-based marine play, because you can throw that on the starport and start getting those Medivacs right away. Regardless, command center is being built up on the high ground, so 263 is thinking about taking a natural, and the double queen and the single spine is going to be fending off 4 Hellions, which have made their way into the mineral line, just doing quite a bit of damage actually. to those queens, but not a lot of damage to the drone count. 4 workers killed right now in the favor of 263, retreating past the spine crawler, which was repositioning itself just a little bit farther to the south. Like I said, this ramp is absolutely huge, and with 2 queens positioned aggressively, they're not going to be able to fend away these Hellions, especially with 5 of them now on the field. Poking the front door, a second command center on the production tab. I really want to see where that's being constructed, and you can kind of see it in the mini-map, but I don't want to take my eyes off of these Hellions. Very low positioning of the queens, and it's going to be backed up by Clockwork positioning 2 Evo chambers just to the right side of that main bay. This is a nice wall off. This is very, very cool and very very nice because it denies a lot of the harassment potential from 263, but that's why he got the Banshee. And this is that 1-2 punch I was talking about. Clockwork's distracted at the front door. Here comes the Banshee at the back door. Giggity. And it's going to be raining down fire on those drones, taking quite a lot of damage from the queen, but ultimately retreating with 4 more workers killed, bringing the total to 8. Switch up to the economic tab. 29 over 35. Well, remember, now we have 3 command centers. And if 263 decides to, he can push out and do quite a lot of damage very, very quickly in the economic front. He can push out and take 3 bases, relax now that he's done a little bit of economic damage, and secure himself the win later on by switching up to a different tech path. But I don't think Clockwork's going to allow him to sit back and relax, allow him to sit back and turtle. The Nidus network is going up in the main base, and it is just out of range. No, it's just within range. Oh no, he knows. Oh, 263, there's no reaction at all. No reaction, no pull from the SCVs, and now the roaches are just pouring into the main base. The hardy number of roaches, to say the least. A single Marauder out on the field. The Banshee's really not going to be able to do too much to stem this flow. Is going to be able to rain down fire, but with the tech lab down, the Marauder's not going to be able to produce any more. I guess there's still being made one, but man, those roach numbers are still continuing to pull the belated pull of SCVs, not enough to take down the Nidus network as the roaches continue to stream out. Those roaches trying desperately to get to that final Marauder with 5 hit points. There goes the quick burrow, but no, the scan forced is going to be forcing those roaches to re-emerge. Freshly surrounded by those SCVs, these roaches are doing so much damage. Switch over to the economics loss tab, actually pretty much in the favor of 263 because of his early harassment, but this tells you the whole story. 50 over 21 harvesters right now. A ridiculously successful turn of the events, really, because Clockwork was feeling the pain. He had lost 8 workers, and 263 was feeling fantastic about his double orbital commands, as his nice taking of that natural, and then now he's had his SCV line completely cut in half. He is in a world of hurt, but he's got a good infrastructure back at home. He's got 2 roaches that are burrowed underground. +1/+1 started for Clockwork, but Clockwork 263 has transitioned over to a ground-style Terran play. He's got that reactor on the starport that I was talking about. It's not the reactor I meant, but it's a reactor, as well as another reactor being added onto the factory. So probably, you know what? I've seen this lately. It's going to be that Marauder and Widow Mine 1-2 punch. And it's actually very nice. The Marauders do a good job of dealing with the roaches, and the Widow Mines do an excellent job at denying run-bys of the Zerglings, ultimately locking down ground-based play until you get up to Ultralisks, or you can get some sort of airplay to support them. Really nice split here by Clockwork, making it so his roaches were out of range from a single scan, forcing a second scan. And remember, those scans that's a mule, and a mule is 300 minerals, so those are very, very expensive roaches for 263 to deal with. Ultimately, his ground force is in tatters. I mean, it's an incredibly paltry amount of ground forces, but I think it's going to be enough to defend that natural for the time being, because Clockwork is working on tech. He's got that pathogen glands, metabolic boost, +1/+1 on the way. The infestor pit is out, macro hatch going up in the main, and has also taken his 3rd. Switch over to the economics tab, 59 over 40. Clockwork is letting his economy just run away with this. So what can 263 do? Well, he can do what Terran does best, drops. He's got the infrastructure already. He's got the Marines out on the field and those Hellions. He needs to throw down an armory, get some Hellbats out there, and load them up in the medevac. I believe this is post-patch. And, oh no, this is pre-patch. So these Hellions do not take up 2 spaces. You can have more than 2 Hellions in a single medevac. So yeah, these Hellions can be even more effective in drop play, and he's got them out. There's no reason not to, and they can do quite a lot of damage right now. But it looks like 263 is actually moving out with his Banshee, and I feel like that is a mistake. Those are changelings from Clockwork trying to see exactly what's going on in the 3rd more than anything else. Clockwork just needs to keep 263 contained, allow his macro to just wind up, work for that in-game composition, and Clockwork has this game in the bag. definitely the ball is in the corner of 263. 263 needs to push out, needs to do something, but he cannot under any circumstances expose his natural or his main to any sort of economic pressure, because I don't feel like he'd recover from it. There goes the drop I was talking about, loaded up with Marines. Still totally going to be successful. It worked really, really well in Heart of the Swarm. There's no reason for it not to work in it worked really, really well in Wings of Liberty. There's no reason for it not to work in Heart of the Swarm. And these Hellbats staying back to help defend the natural just shows you that 263 has really had his confidence shaken. He's feeling very hurt right now, and he desperately just needs to work his way up into a frenzy, work his way up into a more intimidating unit composition and force. And I think once he hits his stride, he can totally get back into this game, but he's pussyfooting around. Clockwork right now is really not committing to the type of aggression that's going to get him back into this game, and he's giving Clockwork plenty of time to get up the static defenses back at home, even some Zerglings aggressively positioned to deal with that drop, and really just stopping right by the Overlord. 263 is going to know that this one is destined to die. Nice positioning of the Widow Mine down here. No kills on this one, so it hasn't stopped a hatchery from going down, but look at all that blue coming out from Clockwork. So many Zerglings. He's going to be thinking about doing a run-by, but with the Hellbats already incorporated into this Hellbat Marauder mix, I really don't see how it's going to be very successful. Hellions also instead of Widow Mines. I really like Widow Mines, especially when you're dealing with this +1/+1 army of all these Zerglings, and even those Infestors coming out. Widow Mines would be absolutely fantastic against this unit composition, but we don't see them. We see Hellbats, and we see Hellions, and you know what? They're great too. They're real good. Banshee pushing out, being very ballsy. Got to be very careful with those Infestors. Much harder to hit the fungal growths nowadays, but it's still definitely possible, and that Banshee can definitely die an early death because of that. 263 is moving out with his force at the exact wrong time, because the Nidus Network is coming back up to the base, but this time he has scouted it. This time he's pulling his SCV. He's going to get a nice surround just whenever the Zerglings are starting to come out. He's going to be going to town on that economy. Once again, 35 workers killed. Oh, goodness. You just look away from that, children. Look away. Guard your eyes. Guard your eyes. Finally, 263 is arriving back with his main force, but the damage has been done. Again, that Nidus Network is going to go down, but what is this? A sneaky, sneaky attack from those Infestors, throwing out so many infested Terran, and just doing, once again, another just blast to the workers kill tab of 46, 35 over 63, and you know what, Clockwork just adding insult to injury, throwing down a fungal growth on that Banshee, and also grabbing his 5th up here in the top right hand corner. That was a pretty cool timing on that one. Oh my goodness, 263 is feeling the pain, and the worst part about this is 263 has a very nice army, very, very nice army that could win a direct engagement with Clockwork, but Clockwork's not going to give him that chance. 13 drones on the way too, just cementing the economic lead that he has, almost maxed out completely, and now the Clockwork is pretty much maxed out. He's working on those Ultralisks. The hatchery, the Nidus Network being built in the main is going to go down a small portion, pulling it out. I think 263 is beginning to get the hang of dealing with the harassment coming from Clockwork. And Clockwork, speaking of dealing with harassment, I mean, he did a great job with those Hellions, did a great job with the Banshees, is doing a great job with the Nidus Network, and is really just fantastic, because the second he lets up on this harassment, 263 is going to be able to move out. And Clockwork does not have the unit composition, or did not have the unit composition, in order to answer that. 3 Ultralisks on the way, and we can see a couple were out on the field a short time ago. I guess they haven't been added into the main composition just yet, but yeah, we can see that 2 of them are out on the field right now, and those Ultralisks are going to be doing so much insofar as adding DPS, insofar as adding hit points, that will allow his force, Clockwork's force, to stick around longer against 263. And 263 has a very intimidating AoE-centric force. It's going to melt through those Zerglings, but with those Ultralisks there, I think we'll see the table begin to turn in the favor of Clockwork, and Clockwork's going to be a lot more aggressive now, pushing with his Infestors, some beautiful fungal growths, really just sticking 263 to the ground, and you saw how quickly all those Zerglings just got chewed alive, but now only 2 Ultralisks are left, but those 2 Ultralisks is more than enough to crush all of 263's force with hit points to spare, the least of it in the half health. Those Ultralisks pushing forward is going to be making mincemeat out of those poor Marines. Oh my goodness, those physic engines are so cool. It looks like they're going to go down, though, leaving the Infestors. Pretty much their only option is to burrow and throw out some infested Terran, but I think Clockwork's going to be, he's going to be happy. He did so much damage. 263 lost his entire standing force, and all he's going to re-macro with are Marines and Marauders, and he really doesn't have the high-tech units necessary to get himself back into this game. He's really just on the back foot and hasn't been doing damage with the drops. He's just kind of sitting back with those drops. You can check out the Workers Lost tab. It's been at 8 since the Hellions, and it's still at 8. He has not done what he needs to do, which is economic damage, which is harassment. And he's allowing Clockwork just to dictate the pace of this game, and the pace that Clockwork is dictating is incredibly fast and just constant pressure. There goes the infested Terran. Still, we don't see the drop being moved. We also see pressure down here in the third. It looks like this total infrastructure is going to fail down here at the third, and with that goes a significant chunk of the mining, because the main is pretty much totally mined out, and the natural is very well saturated. But no, 263 tapping out. I wonder what that means. If you guys speak Korean, you could let me know. I do know what Clockwork means, and it means don't let me get to Ultralisks, because that's intimidating. Oh man, that was a great game. If you guys like games like that, you can stop by this channel. It is EchO Gaming, and you can also check out their website shown here. Always a good time. I had a great time. I am Big and Scary. I'll see you guys later.